From Montgomery, Alabama, the Southern State Showcase is just around the corner. John Nelson alongside Heather Kirksey. And Heather, we are in the Central Time Zone for the show.
Absolutely. We're going to profile the campus here at AUM. We're going to talk about a couple of coaches from William Carey and Loyola. We've got cross-country championships to talk about, and Lee's Jamie Acton sets a new NAIA mark. There's plenty of news to talk about. Let's get started on the showcase right now.
The Southern State Showcase on Sports South is brought to you by Musco Lighting, Mississippi Gulf Coast, One Path Systems, and National Management Resources.
From the corner of East Drive and AUM Drive on the campus of Auburn University, Montgomery, welcome to another round of the Southern State Showcase. And if you hear noise during the show, there's a reason for it. Just off Taylor here on the main strip right out in front of campus, they're building a wellness center. It's supposed to be completed in fall of 2012. Looking forward to finding out more about that and everything else going on here on the AUM campus. But our first stop this week, Heather, is where?
We're headed to Hattiesburg. We're going to leave Montgomery for a little bit and head down to William Carey. You know, head baseball coach Bobby Halford is just 5 wins shy of 900 for his career. What an outstanding mark, you know. He's had such an outstanding career as the head baseball coach for the Crusaders, but did you know that he also started the women's basketball program?
Did not know that.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Here's more on head coach Bobby Halford.
The different smells, the grass, the honeysuckle, seeing the different, you know, everything. It's a new season. It just invigorates you, and it's fun being around the game.
Even with 26 baseball seasons under his belt, William Carey head coach Bobby Halford still gets excited about the signs of spring, indicating it's time once again to hit the diamond. Next spring, when his Crusaders take the field, they will have the opportunity to improve upon Halford's career win total of 895, a mark he never imagined many years ago.
My goal was to play professional baseball, and I went to the Kansas City Royals Baseball Academy and was cut down there, and got back home. There was a scholarship agreement to play basketball and baseball at William Carey, and I've been there ever since. So I think the Lord just put me in that position, and I've been blessed all these years, and the people there are just fantastic, and the mission of the college and the university now, you know, it's just what I believe in.
Halford graduated from William Carey in 1975, playing center field for the baseball team and guard for the basketball team. Now he's had the luxury of spending his entire coaching career at his alma mater. Along with baseball, Halford coached a little men's basketball along the way and even started the women's program.
It was interesting. I grew up in Meridian, Mississippi. We didn't have women's basketball there. I played basketball my whole life. That was one of my first loves, and so I was a basketball, baseball player all the way up, and I got to William Carey, and I was a graduate assistant with the men's program, and they said, you know, we're going to have to start a women's team, and we need you to coach it. It was no different. I mean, the girls were the same as coaching the guys. They want to win. They want to be successful, and we had a really fun time with them. And a lot of the girls that I coached, I was a couple of years, 3 years older than them, and I've coached their sons now in baseball. So it's been a neat thing.
Halford has been the Crusaders skipper for 1,434 games. He recalls many great memories over the years, but he is most proud of how his program has been able to compete with larger schools during his tenure.
I can remember being at Mississippi State one day facing Jay Powell in the last inning, and a little kid that came from very meager beginnings and named Michael Dumas, and hits a ball off the Duty Noble wall in the 11th inning to help us win the game. And you know, years later, is playing on TV for the Milwaukee Brewers during the strike, and that's what makes it all, you know, fun, is to see guys that might have been passed over by some of the larger places that come to your place, and next thing you know, they're playing professional baseball or that kind of thing. I've done a little bit of everything at the university. You know, when you're a coach and you're just starting off, you're always trying to figure out a way to pay you. So I've worked in admissions, I've worked in, you know, recruiting, I've worked in fundraising, so you do a little bit of everything. But back when we started, most coaches at our level coach two sports. You either coach, basketball, baseball, or football, baseball, or some other sport. So it's fun now that you're just getting to do one thing, and it's one thing that you really feel, that you really like. So it makes it a lot easier.
Halford has been a jack of all trades during his time at William Carey. He says being on the doorstep of 900 wins only means he's been coaching for a long time. While he may be modest about his success, Coach Halford is certainly quick to praise the school and the game which have defined his career.
And this game is giving me a lot, and so I can't. I've been blessed. I'll just say that I've been blessed to be in a place and been able to do what I like to do.
900 will be here before you know it. Just 5 wins. Of course, William Carey hopes to get those early this spring. Speaking of milestones, we want to congratulate University of Mobile head volleyball coach John Campbell. He just picked up his 300th career victory with a win over Tougaloo. Congratulations to John Campbell.
No doubt about it. Good news for the Rams. That is it for the first segment. We come back second segment. We take a trip down to New Orleans and catch up with life at Loyola University. The showcase continues after this.
On the Mississippi Gulf Coast, the fish are still biting. Our casinos are as exciting as ever, with 24-hour gaming and top-name entertainment. Our golf courses are open for play, and our seafood is as fresh as ever. There's plenty of fun for you and your family, and we welcome you with open arms. The Mississippi Gulf Coast, open for business, open for you. Book your visit today.
From Little League to the big leagues, Musco specializes in sports lighting around the world. Musco's light structure green sports lighting cuts operating costs in half with less energy use, cuts spill light by half, provides guaranteed constant light levels, and includes a 25-year warranty. For your budget, for the environment, Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Get in the game at playnaia.org.
How do students decide which college or university to attend? Of course, it's based on your reputation, but their first impression of your campus is so important. How do you make that first impression count? By making sure every detail is attended to, with manicured grounds, immaculate maintained buildings, and a welcoming feeling throughout campus. National Management Resources Corporation provides exceptional facilities management services. We make sure that first impression is picture perfect.
The number one can make or break a great game. One hit.
And it's gone back. It is out of here.
One goal. One shot. 1 second. When it comes to technology solutions, excellence is defined by one. One Path, competitively connected. One Path is proud to be the sponsor of excellence for the Southern States Athletic Conference.
If you're a fan of the Southern States Athletic Conference, then bookmark SSACsports.com. Visit daily for the latest results, news, standings, and webcasts. Follow your favorite teams and conference at SSACsports.com.
Welcome back, B Block now here on the Southern State Showcase, and we are inside the gym here on the AUM campus. You'll notice a little bit of remodeling going on. We'll get into that a little later on in the show. But Heather, since we are inside a basketball gym, it is now time for a basketball story.
And we head to Loyola for this one. Head men's basketball coach and athletic director Dr. Mike G. Orlando, he used to pull double duty. Double duty, meaning dentistry and coaching. What a unique combination with that, right?
No kidding.
Well, he decided to trade in his dental drills for some basketball drills. Chris Brenneman has more now on Coach Gio.
For some basketball coaches, there are times when the job can seem like pulling teeth. Loyola University New Orleans head coach Mike G. Orlando can relate. After all, he has literally pulled teeth. As a private practice dentist in the Crescent City, he was enjoying his work, but G. Orlando couldn't escape his first love. It wasn't long after beginning his practice that he found himself leaving work for another practice at Newman High School alongside basketball coach Billy Fitzgerald. Along with his assistant coaching duties, G. Orlando continued his dentistry, which led him to another opportunity to coach.
I guess around 1988-89, one of my patients, who was also a head basketball coach at another local high school, was in a little bit of a jam. His assistant had accepted a position as a head coach late in August, and he was short a coach, and asked if I would consider working with him. And we were able to work out a feasible schedule and gave it a try, and from there it really took off.
The next year, G. Orlando met Tim Floyd, who was then the head coach at the University of New Orleans. Floyd offered the dentist a graduate assistant position at UNO, but G. Orlando didn't bite, choosing rather to keep his dental practice. His decision also included keeping an open mind about the possibility of giving up dentistry down the road.
And sure enough, the next year that position came available, and was able to sell my practice and started as a graduate assistant with Coach Tim Floyd. And 20 years later, I'm sitting here as the Director of Athletics and Wellness and head men's basketball coach at Loyola.
Upon finishing his graduate assistant position, G. Orlando cut his teeth as a head basketball coach at 3 high schools before returning to the college ranks on Floyd's staff. He also served as an assistant coach and director of basketball operations at LSU before taking the head coaching position at Loyola in 2004.
Being able to coach college level in the city you were born in and spend almost your whole college career in New Orleans, that's unheard of.
Giving up on a career to follow a different dream is often a difficult decision to make, which is why G. Orlando is grateful that he had and continues to have the support of his family.
My wife was very supportive. She knew that I was very heavily involved in basketball because we dated for a few years while I was in dental school, and knew that I was helping at Newman, and that was a big part of my life. And so when this opportunity arose, it wasn't a complete shock. You know, I guess the big thing is making that decision and making the move.
G. Orlando says the support didn't come across the board, as many of his coaching friends think he's crazy for swapping his dental pick for the pick and roll.
They said, are you nuts? And even Tim Floyd, when I walked in his office, he called a staff meeting and brought all the guys in and said, look at this guy, he's a dentist, wants to come coach with us. You know, the other guys just got up and walked out. They just shaking their head. And, you know, so they were the worst supporters of anybody.
Even though G. Orlando has been away from dentistry for 2 decades, his players know about his past and sometimes look to their coach when a problem arises involving their teeth.
During the recruiting process that comes up, they read media guides, they read the bios on the website, and you know, the only time it really comes up after that, if one of them has a tooth problem, you know, gets chipped tooth or has a little pain here or something like that, they'll say, hey, aren't you a dentist? I said, yeah, well, I was. Yeah, I guess I still am. And, you know, we'll have a little consultation and then we move on. So that's about the extent of my dental career with my players.
For the Southern States Showcase, I'm Chris Brenneman.
That's an absolutely fascinating story. Would you let him give you a root canal?
That, and I'd have him help me more importantly on my outside shooting because it definitely needs it.
I would threaten players. If they didn't shape up, I'd threaten dental work.
You have a drill out here that's different. Go back to the first kind of drill we were talking about. Thank you very much, Chris. Before we go to break, let's talk about records in soccer in the NAIA, and let's focus on Jamie Acton from Lee University. Jamie is now the new record holder in NAIA history for career assists, with 86, breaking the 7-year-old record that was set back by 2004. So congratulations to the Lady Flames, to Lee University, and to Jamie Acton. That is it for the B block. We come back for the C. We'll let you know what else is going on here at AUM as the showcase continues after this.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Learn more at NAIA.org.
From Little League to the big leagues, Musco specializes in sports lighting around the world. Musco's light structure green sports lighting cuts operating costs in half with less energy use. Cuts spill light by half, provides guaranteed constant light levels, and includes a 25-year warranty. For your budget, for the environment, Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
How do students decide which college or university to attend? Of course, it's based on your reputation, but their first impression of your campus is so important. How do you make that first impression count? By making sure every detail is attended to, with manicured grounds, immaculate maintained buildings, and a welcoming feeling throughout campus. National Management Resources Corporation provides exceptional facilities management services. We make sure that first impression is picture perfect.
The number one can make or break a great game. One hit.
And it's going back. It is out of here.
One goal. One shot. 1 second. When it comes to technology solutions, excellence is defined by one. One Path, competitively connected. One Path is proud to be the sponsor of excellence for the Southern States Athletic Conference.
On the Mississippi Gulf Coast, the fish are still biting. Our casinos are as exciting as ever, with 24-hour gaming and top-name entertainment. Our golf courses are open for play, and our seafood is as fresh as ever. There's plenty of fun for you and your family, and we welcome you with open arms. The Mississippi Gulf Coast, open for business, open for you. Book your visit today.
Welcome back to the Southern States Showcase. We took you to Hattiesburg, then down to New Orleans, and as promised, we're going to talk about what's happening right here in Montgomery.
Now, we told you about the Wellness Center and the noise in the background. Wellness Center is set for completion in fall of 2012, and that's only part of what's going on here on campus. Let's tell you what else is going on at Auburn University Montgomery. If it's not the new 70,000 plus square foot Wellness Center being put together next to Taylor Road, it's landscaping, it's parking lots, and paving. AUM is in the process of a big facelift as they keep moving forward as a university while keeping their small school atmosphere.
That interaction with a professor, I think, is really critical. And, you know, when you talk to alums about their experiences that led them to be successful in life, there's usually a story about, you know, a particular professor who really, you know, energized them to get from where they were to where they wanted to be. So we you know, it's important, I think, to keep that experience. So we are growing, but we're trying to grow in a very managed way.
The on-campus master plan to expand AUM's presence started all the way back in 2007. Expansion anticipates student enrollment increasing almost 60% over the next 15 years. The student pool looks to pull from an international pool, and on-campus housing will grow to accommodate almost 1/4 of the full-time equivalent students. All of this to increase the university's identity not just locally, but globally.
Yeah, I think it's part of being a good corporate citizen. I mean, you have to be involved in your community and trying to make things better for people in the community. And we're a public institution, so we actually think we have an obligation to do those kinds of things. And they have been going on for years. And we do occasionally get recognition for those kinds of things outside of athletics. Our Nonprofit Leadership Alliance group on campus has won the national award last year and is a finalist. This year, we'll know in January where they win their program award. We've had some of their internships who have resulted in Interns of the Year being selected. So it's that kind of that whole service learning thing. I mean, we're trying to turn out people who be good citizens.
The school's motto is, our standard is excellence, and AUM is looking to apply that ideal not to just time inside the classroom, but in every aspect of anyone's life that's attached to the university.
Any organization has to continually improve, or you're going to obsolesce, and you know, the world's changing around us, and to be relevant to that world, we've got to change too. So it's hopefully a kind of a spur to get people to look at that and evaluate how we do things, and maybe try to do them differently. And there's actually a kind of a science fiction book, the heroine of which has this slogan, choose again. I mean, you may choose to do the same thing that you've been doing, but choose again. I mean, make a conscious choice given the circumstances that you encounter today, do we still want to do this the way that we're doing it? Because, you know, too often organizations, you know, when you ask people, well, why are we doing it that way? Well, we've always done it that way. It's not a very good explanation. You know, sometimes the way you've been doing it is excellent, but you ought to know why you're doing it that way, and it ought to be because you're shooting for excellence and not just because that's what you're accustomed to doing.
The largest point of excitement athletically on the AUM campus is from a point of change. The Senators, a moniker long associated with all the sports on campus, is on its way to a 3-year transition to turning the team into Warhawks, a nod to the military past and a focus for the future.
There is a tie, obviously the Warhawk, War Eagle, there's a tie, but the Warhawk was actually a fighter jet during World War II that worked out of Maxwell Air Force Base, and so there's a local historical tie as well.
There's just more of a buzz here now than there might have been 5 years ago when I first became chancellor, and you know, a lot of that's the students themselves.
And as things change in identity, indoors and out, the Warhawks can hang its collective hat on a great deal of success in their 10 sports. Banners will be hung in the gym eventually to display all the hard work that has resulted in the program's way in the southern states, and the success isn't just in a few sports, it's across the board.
But right now there is a buzz on this campus like I haven't seen in the 16 years I've been here. The students are really, really excited about the new Warhawks. They're excited about the prospect of branding, you know, something themselves. That was evident last night when we opened up our men's basketball season, and we had over 300 students here in attendance. So certainly something for us to build upon. We're still waiting for the mascot costume to come, and we're looking forward to the unveiling of that as well.
But we're all reminded that balance is important, and the way of the Warhawk is no different, making their impact known off campus and in the community.
I'm really proud of our coaches because they understand the importance of, you know, that being a foundation for our student athletes. We don't tie on a number. We don't say you have to do X amount of hours in community service. But what we hope is that we get them involved enough so that when they leave here, they have a foundation of civic responsibility, that they understand how important it is to give back. And every one of our coaches is actually a part of their evaluation as well, so maybe that's why they're somewhat plugged in. But every program must do a minimum of 3. And so, you know, we far exceed that with many of our programs.
So, Heather, as you can see, a lot of progress, a lot of promise, and a lot of accolades for the Warhawks here.
Thanks, John. Great story. Well, we've still got to wrap things up here at AUM, but don't go anywhere. Before we head to break, we want to introduce you to the Players of the Week.
Players of the Week for the week of November 7th in the Southern States Athletic Conference. Starting off in men's cross country, it's Elliot Natich from Shorter University. Women's cross country, Maggie Opelt from Lee. Men's soccer, Offensive Player of the Week goes to Akil Campion from Belhaven University. Women's soccer, Offensive Player of the Week, Jamie Acton from Lee. Women's soccer, Defensive Player of the Week, Hannah Martin from Brunel. And in volleyball, it's Jasmine Crook from Shorter University.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Get in the game at playnaa.org.
From Little League to the big leagues, Musco specializes in sports lighting around the world. Musco's light structure green sports lighting cuts operating costs in half with less energy use, cuts spill light by half, provides guaranteed constant light levels, and includes a 25-year warranty. For your budget, for the environment, Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
How do students decide which college or university to attend? Of course, it's based on your reputation, but their first impression of your campus is so important. How do you make that first impression count? By making sure every detail is attended to, with manicured grounds, immaculate maintained buildings, and a welcoming feeling throughout campus. National Management Resources Corporation provides exceptional facilities management services. We make sure that first impression is picture perfect.
On the Mississippi Gulf Coast, the fish are still biting. Our casinos are as exciting as ever, with 24-hour gaming and top-name entertainment. Our golf courses are open for play, and our seafood is as fresh as ever. There's plenty of fun for you and your family, and we welcome you with open arms. The Mississippi Gulf Coast, open for business, open for you. Book your visit today.
Now here's a look at your rankings for the teams in the Southern States Athletic Conference as they appear in the NAIA. Welcome back, D Block. Final segment now in the Southern States Showcase from Auburn University of Montgomery. A couple of AUM notes, Heather, before we go. First off, congrats to the cross-country team for completing their first season here as a sport at AUM at the SSAC Championships, and also congrats to Anna Veselinovich and the tennis team for all their inroads this year and another national title. What else is going on?
Well, speaking of cross country, we would like to congratulate both the shorter men and women for winning the conference championship in cross country. Recently took place at the Choctaw Trails in Clinton, Mississippi. 3 runners from the women's team finished in the top 10. The men finished with the top 4 in their 8K race. Of course, both teams punched tickets to the NAIA National Championships in Vancouver, Washington on November 19th. So congratulations and good luck in the National Championships.
No doubt about it. Coach Bird doing some great things up there in Rome. Where are we next week?
We're going to head to Mobile. We'll profile the Spring Hill Badgers, and we'll take a look at 2 young women on the Loyola volleyball team. Their dads played in the NFL. How incredible is that? I want my dad to be in the NFL.
Very cool stuff. We will check in on that next week. So for Heather Kirksey, I am John Nelson saying play it safe, everybody, from Auburn University in Montgomery.
On the Mississippi Gulf Coast, the fish are still biting. Our casinos are as exciting as ever, with 24-hour gaming and top-name entertainment. Our golf courses are open for play, and our seafood is as fresh as ever. There's plenty of fun for you and your family, and we welcome you with open arms. The Mississippi Gulf Coast, open for business, open for you. Book your visit today.
From Little League to the big leagues, Musco specializes in sports lighting around the world. Musco's light structure green sports lighting cuts operating costs in half with less energy use, cuts spill light by half, provides guaranteed constant light levels, and includes a 25-year warranty. For your budget, for the environment, Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
How do students decide which college or university to attend? Of course, it's based on your reputation, but their first impression of your campus is so important. How do you make that first impression count? By making sure every detail is attended to, with manicured grounds, immaculate maintained buildings, and a welcoming feeling throughout campus. National Management Resources Corporation provides exceptional facilities management services. We make sure that first impression is picture perfect.
At a time when sports are heading in the wrong direction, the NAIA is changing the culture of sport. Through the Champions of Character program, with the support of Buffalo Funds, our college students are learning character traits that change behaviors, and they're bringing the message to coaches, parents, and teams nationwide. Visit NAIA.org and learn how your team can become champions of character.